Englisch miteinander reden, aber falls jemand nachher was fragen will, auf Deutsch, ich kann es übersetzen, oder auch Dick, der später dazukommen wird, kann es bestimmt noch besser übersetzen. I like that jacket, I have to say that.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I know you told me this afternoon you've got this special jacket.
A little bit of sparkle, you know.
I'm going to start with a few fairly banal questions, because I think often the answers you get to those are very interesting. Now, we've just watched that whole concert like we were there. You were in a restaurant, you just arrived. Can you tell us what went through your heads and what you said to each other when you came off stage, when that concert finished?
We did it. It was, as you can imagine, it was quite an evening. There was a lot building up to that evening, and there was just the one show, and so we had to more than get it right, and I think we did.
We'll talk about the whole build-up to the show itself in a minute, but if we could talk specifically about the day of the concert, because I can imagine there were interesting things going on before you got to the arena, when you met up, how you decided what you were going to do. Can you give us a rough idea of how that day went before you ended up on stage?
Well, I decided I should chill as much as I could, as you can imagine. We'd done some a dress rehearsal a few days before, and that had gone well, so I wasn't anxious about perhaps it not working. I knew it would work. It's just how well it would work was the thing. And I took it very easy during the day. I played a little banjo, and we actually went there by boat, because it's the O2 Arena is right on the docklands. It was fantastic. We got a car down to Chelsea Harbour, and then we were in these ribs. I don't know how that translates, but these very fast boats at night on the River Thames. And it was 20 minutes from Chelsea to Greenwich, and that's a long way. So that's going about 40 miles an hour at night. It was just the best way to arrive at this huge dome, with the lights, and so it was an exciting arrival, that's for sure.
How long did you get there before the concert started?
Oh, minutes. Actually, about an hour and a half, I think, at most.
Was that the most difficult time, though, that hour and a half before you went out there?
No, you kind of caffeinate, but not too much. You don't want to be shaking, but you don't want to be too relaxed either.
Was there that feeling, though, that, hey, this was probably going to be the last time that we perform together and play these songs? Was that in your mind in any way, at any point, before, during, after?
No, actually it wasn't. And in fact, during the show, I remember playing something, I think in No Quarter. And as you do as you're a musician, of course you're concentrating on the music, but there's also this other little thing going on, and is it the left or the right side of the brain, I can never remember, which is actually taking stock and making notes and things. And I remember making a note to myself, do not do that tomorrow night. And then I go, oh, another part of my brain said, you stupid
We talked a bit this afternoon, and it was quite interesting, because I was asking him about making mistakes, and I said, if you take a concert like Cream's Reunion, they played over 4 or 5 days, so if there were any mistakes, they could cut them out and rearrange things. And he said, well, no, we only had the one night, but actually, we didn't really make any mistakes. That's true, right? You had that feeling all the way through. This is just working.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you try never to make mistakes, but things inevitably go, you slip now and again, but fortunately our rate of slippage was extremely low that night. We were, when it's really driving through and going well, you'd be surprised how few mistakes you actually do make.
20 million people wanted tickets to go to that concert. I don't know how many eventually turned up, but it was obviously a huge arena. with a big stage. But the interesting thing is that you're very tight on that stage. You're not using the whole width of the stage. The band is very, very close together. Why was that?
That's the way we've always done it. As you probably noticed, and probably never noticed before, because it's hard to see, especially when we started playing larger stadiums, that the band is always making eye contact and interacting as well as listening and paying attention and focusing. You're always watching, and you need to be close to each other. But it probably comes from the days when we played in stages which were about sort of from there to there. And just because the stages got bigger, we never moved out. Because you like to be in front of the drums as well. I actually like to feel the bass drum, the wind from the bass drum. And that's where you make the best music, when you're close together. Woo! Yeah.
Obviously you're close together as well, in as much as it's not just standing close together on stage. It was very obvious, the intimacy between the four of you when you're working on stage. Now I'm wondering what the intimacy was like when it came to putting the whole thing together. When you start planning for that concert, you've obviously, as Robert Plant at one point says, okay, we've got 10 albums to choose from here. What are we going to play? Which order are we going to play them in? Can you give us a rough idea of how that came about? Which songs are we going to play? Were there arguments about that? You wanted one, they didn't want one, whoever?
Generally, we've always known, this goes through the music making, it goes through everything that we ever did. We always know what's good for the band. When you're playing, you don't play to make yourself sound good. You play to make the band sound good. So if it means playing lots of notes and the band sounds good, that's good. If it means playing very few notes, then as long as the band sounds good, that's the whole point. So when we were making the set list out, all we had to do really was decide how to start. And I can't remember, I think I might have suggested Good Times, Bad Times, which in retrospect was a bit of a mistake, because it's bloody hard to play when you walk out fresh. I didn't realise, oh yes, I wrote this riff. What am I? But once we've started, and then as you say, we have to include certain things. You have to have stereo, you have to have Kashmir, and you have to have trembling with fourth and quarter. And so it was just a matter of fitting them in so that there would be a trajectory, there would be a shape to the show, which we've always done. When we first went to America, we came upon the sort of hippie music scene where, they'd be playing, and you finish a song and they wander around the stage. And there'll be zero energy. And when we first hit America, we were just like bang, 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 bang. You'd see people going, what the? And then we would actually build the show, so that it had a shape. It had a high, and then it would dip down, and you'd let people rest for a little bit, and then kick them right up the arse again. And we always do that, and we know how to do it as well. And so there's no real argument. There's discussion. You say maybe this one, and somebody will suggest another song. I think Jimmy suggested, let's do For Your Life. Right. Oh yeah, we've never actually done that, have we? No, let's do that. And where can we put it so that it's most effective, and so it's that sort of stuff.
I was going to ask you about that, because that's the only song, I think, that you never performed live before. Were there other songs that you considered performing live that you hadn't done before?
Well, actually, Good Times, Bad Times haven't been. I don't think we've done that on stage, but we might have. I'm sure somebody will correct me. Yes, I know. I don't know, yeah. For Your Life, of course, I'd actually forgotten that we hadn't played it live. Because when you're recording it, live recording, it's still a performance. And I remember coming to the end of it and looking at Jim and going, how do we finish this? How do we finish this on stage? You've never done it on stage. With some of the other songs, of course, we've done many different versions and different ways of beginning and ending. And there become a time when you'd be playing a song and you go, how do we do this? How do we finish this one? And we'd all look at Jason and he'd go, well, 1971, we did it this way. 74 is different. And he has this encyclopedic knowledge. Google Bonham. Anything you want to know about those, you can ask Jason.